Good morning, evening, afternoon, and welcome to the city of Hagi, famous for its castle town. It's often called Little Kyoto due to the beautiful lined streets of traditional Japanese buildings. It's really beautiful. However, there's one problem with this castle town, one crucial thing in the castle town that it's missing: the castle. Hello and welcome to Hagi's Marine Visitor Centre. It's probably the place that you'll start off your journey at because it's got all the tourist information and all that stuff to help you out. So right next to us is Seirin Gakko, basically a recreation of what Japanese schools used to look like before they just turned them into big old concrete blocks. Now they also have a museum here, but I'm not going in today because I've got some more interesting stuff lined up for you. But there is one thing we still need to do in the visitor centre, and it's probably the best way to get around Hagi. So yeah, let's go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the city of Hagi. Not to be confused with the Scottish delicacy haggis. Located in the north of Japan's Yamaguchi prefecture, although its obscure location strangled growth in Japan's boom years, it's conversely spared Hagi of the redevelopment that occurred at that time, preserving many of its traditional streets and buildings. What's therefore left are beautiful street views. Ocean views. And what would have been a lovely castle view, if not for a certain event. But in any case, while Hagi is technically considered a city, it's nice and compact and, like much of Japan, perfect to explore by bike. Thankfully, at the tourism office, they're easily available to rent. And once we're set up, we're ready to go explore Hagi's beautiful streets. Hagi's Jokamachi, or Castle Town, features many museums and buildings free to enter, giving you an insight into the sort of buildings people lived in back in the day. Man, I really wanted to go in that bamboo forest and kind of record it and all that, but unfortunately, the gate's shut. God, such a waste. Why would you shut the gate? Such a beautiful looking bamboo forest. Well, it seems to be kind of a grave for a loyal cat. I get the feeling, buddy. I get the feeling. Hagi also features many pottery studios, giving you the chance to create the famous Hagiyaki, or Hagi pottery. And to be honest, I gave it a go, but watching a British man fumbling his way around a blob of clay ain't the most interesting thing to watch, to be quite frank. But I'd still definitely recommend doing it if you come around into Hagi. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but in any case, it's just one of the many things to explore in this great city. Not limiting ourselves to just the bike, we next employ the use of a boat to see Hagi through its historic canals. And while the boat is precariously close to the water, given how bloody hot it is in Japan right now, I don't think I'll mind getting a bit soaked as well. Oh, wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. Also, the water's kind of splashing on me, but I actually don't mind. It's quite hot, so it's actually quite refreshing. So that's not bad. But after a short while of our pleasure cruise, you could say, disaster strikes. One of the kids' hats got flown off, so we're going on a rescue mission to try and get it now. Let's hope we can get it. In typical Japanese fashion, the boatman ain't letting that go and turns around to get the little kid's hat. There it is. Whoa. Whoa. It's running away from us. And with much fanfare and much turning and struggling by the navigator, driver, boat person, that is retrieved. Whee! Nah. I have to say that probably one of my favourite parts of this boat tour has to be just seeing the water. I mean, it's just so beautiful and clear. They gave these little bowl things, cup things to kind of look through the water, and you can actually see fish swimming along. It was just really beautiful, and yeah, I'm actually really happy I took this trip. It helped that the weather was really nice as well, and yeah, the beach area as well was absolutely great. So I've stopped by a local cafe to have the most Japanese lunch I could ever have. Bread and pie. But yeah, it's just because that was the actual curry place I wanted to go to before, but unfortunately it was shut, or the last order's already passed, so unfortunately I've had to settle with bread. But I mean, this looks really good, so I'm going to tuck in. But yeah, that hagi making thing was pretty fun, although the lady pretty much did most of it for me because I was just like just messing it up basically. But it was quite fun, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to dive into this, and then afterwards we're going to solve the mystery of Hagi Castle. Yeah, let's go. So we finally arrived at the ultimate mystery that Hagi has, and it's its castle, or lack thereof. Now you can see where it used to be. You've got a little kind of castle pedestal over there, which is obviously where the Honmaru, the main castle building, which you often see in Osaka and all that, should be. But as you can see, not just the castle, nothing's here anymore. It's all been, well, what happened to it? That's a bit too early for me to say. But what we're going to do is we're going to enter this little park, and as I guess we look around and I show you the kind of inside of the park, we'll start to unpack the mystery as to why this castle is no longer standing. You can see these are stairs which people used to climb up to get well up onto the wall. It's kind of amazing that it's still there. You can imagine people, actually, were walking up this. I mean, it sounds kind of obvious, but when we see ruins, we kind of think of it just as ruins instead of an actual living, used thing. So it's cool to see kind of everyday objects or bits and bobs like that still standing. Alrighty, so we've gotten inside to the, I guess what's now a park really, rather than the area of the castle. And that's often how it goes with a lot of these former castles. They convert them to beautiful little parks. It's often quite expensive to obviously rebuild castles. But anyways, let's get to the point. Why is there no longer a castle here? Well, I'll give you one hint maybe. Back in the kind of late 1800s, you had something called the Meiji Revolution. And what that basically was an attempt by the Japanese government to centralize power. Back in the day, you basically had all the prefectures and all these areas basically almost govern themselves in a way. And at that time, to kind of modernize, they wanted to centralize all that power. So that might give you one hint as to why this castle is no longer standing. But let's keep going in, and perhaps I'll reveal another hint for you guys. Anyways, let's go. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, don't judge me, by the way, based on the sweat on my shirt. You come here to Japan during summer and see how you do. No, but it's really hot. So expect many sweat patches in this video. Sorry, it's a bit gross maybe, sorry about that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If you've been to Japan during summer or lived here, you know. So we've climbed some stairs. That's pretty much all I've done since the last cut, but we've come to what used to be a place of power. Remember what I was talking about, the fact that a lot of these shogunates, as they were called, would run their areas themselves. Well, as you can see, what's happened is that place of power has been replaced with a shrine. So, kind of put it together, the whole Meiji Revolution, trying to centralize power, and I guess the sphere of power that used to be here, and why that's gone now. And that, I think, should give you a good idea on why this castle is no longer here. But in case there's any doubt, let's make our way actually to where the castle used to be, and I'll, I guess, spill the beans. Sorry, I don't know what I was doing there, but yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's go. Let me go around to pick you up. I'm sorry to break the immersion. It's only just me, so I've got to actually go pick up my camera. Hope it was a good shot though. Oh, and we've got an excellent example of Japanese English. So tearai means just toilet, but I guess if you somehow translate it in some mystical Japanese manner, you come up with water closet. Yeah, sorry guys, I need to go to the water closet real quick. It's kind of crazy to have this view all to yourself, so we're not quite there yet, but I mean, it's still absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? And we finally made it to the main part of the castle, or should I say, a view of it. I thought that, you know, just kind of being on the castle while talking is a bit boring, so I've kind of come here to this kind of area besides it so you can also see me and the remains of the castle. But why is it not here anymore? That's the main question now. You may have guessed it, but I guess to put it into words, simply put, this was a place of power, and when you're centralizing power, if someone's not really a big fan of that, they'll want to maybe, you know, have a coup or something like that. And you know, these big spanking castles are, well, pretty much a perfect place to do it, aren't they? So, you know, as a part of all those laws of centralizing power, they also basically stipulated, they also basically wanted all these castles gone. Now, obviously, it wasn't just Hagi Castle this happened to. Hagi Castle is just one of many, many, many castles that this was the case for. In fact, only around 5, I think, castles in Japan are still original. All the other ones have been rebuilt over the last 100 years or so. Because obviously once all the kind of risk of coups and all that kind of faded away, people obviously realized that the castles were a big part of their culture and will simply put one of them back, right? But as you can see, this didn't happen to all of them, and obviously that's because, I mean, you know, look at Hagi Castle now. It's, you know, a beautiful park they've turned it into, and you know, you've got to choose between that and kind of building a new castle. And obviously in Hagi's case, they didn't do that. It's also obviously quite expensive to get all the materials and manpower to do. But I mean, I think in Hagi case, I don't really mind. It's really beautiful here. You know, it's kind of like a mix between mankind and nature, and it obviously blends really beautifully. I'm really happy I came here. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I think you should come as well if you're able to. You know, Kyoto's beautiful and all that, and obviously Kyoto's definitely worth going, but if you want a bit, if you want a place which is maybe a bit more to yourself, you know, go to places like this. And they also kind of need the tourism as well, because these places are suffering. Kyoto, you know, Kyoto, Tokyo, Osaka, they're doing okay, but these kind of places, they really need the people, the attention. So I hope maybe you give that a chance. Or give this place rather a chance. Is it recording? I can't tell. Is you recording? Yes, you is. So I've wandered to what feels like the bloody hottest place on earth, because the sun's directly on my back right now. You wouldn't want to see my back. It's probably an absolute sweat disaster, but how about that for a view? Absolutely bloody gorgeous. I wish I could get in the water, but I mean, I guess I'm really kind of soaked, but with sweat, but I didn't bring my trunks, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll take a dip tomorrow. So I'm not sure whether I'm gonna end the video here or, I don't know, record some more stuff. I'm technically here for tomorrow morning as well, but if I'm ending the video here, then I just want to say, man, you know, you can come to these kinds of places. They're often a pain to get to. You know, I had to take the Shinkansen up to Shin Yamaguchi, you know, take the coach up, and all took an hour or so just for the coach. But it's really worth it for these places, which you just have all to yourself and just make you feel like you're in the moment. It's really incredible. And I hope I've enticed you to come to Hagi, because it's been a really, really beautiful and fun time. You know, last night as well, you know, I was with some of the locals. They took me out to a bunch of bars and all that. It was absolutely amazing. So I really hope you've been inspired to maybe come to Hagi or places like this where, you know, the people and the area will treat you right. But yeah, this is the end then. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one. And hopefully for a lot more beautiful places like this. Yeah, actually might go down there and take a look at the beach, because it technically says danger or whatever. It doesn't say don't enter, it just says danger. I'm sorry, that can't stop me. It just looks so beautiful. Man, I wish I brought my trunks. That would have been absolutely amazing, but anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? All right, let's go take a look down, and then we'll probably end the video with a shot of the beach. Cool, I'm looking forward to having sand in my shoes after this. Jeez, I think I can really feel it. Oh no, gosh darn it.